Welcome everyone to another episode of Power ng Pinoy. We're live from Silicon Valley, and as usual, the show is all about showcasing world-class Filipino talent, whether it's in the areas of education, science, business. And today is no exception because we have with us a very special guest. She is the Vice President of Outsourcing Practice of Pointwest Technologies Corporation. It is the largest Filipino-owned IT-BPM company in the Philippines. And I'm so happy to have with her today Miss Lucy Flores. Welcome to the show, Lucy.
Thank you, Carla, for having me. It is a pleasure and a privilege.
I know you've achieved so much in your personal and professional life, and you truly are an inspiration. Top off the bat, what comes to mind? Greatest achievement?
Being married 32 years and together with my husband raising 4 wonderful children who are also accomplished in their own rights.
How about professionally? What comes to mind?
Professionally, being with Pointwest Technologies Corporation, being a pioneer of the company, and together with the men and women have achieved the success over 13 years.
Yes, it was amazing, right? It started out with how many employees?
9.
9 in 2003. Is that correct? And now it's at 1,300.
1,300.
So that's amazing growth. But what really strikes me too is that you made it and you became an executive in a very male-dominated industry, which is tech. And a lot of women are aspiring to do the same. How was it? How was the experience being a woman in the field that you are in?
Well, back in the 80s when I started my career, I think I got the training and immersion. Being part of computer information systems that is owned by Manila Electric Company, a male-dominated industry. And at that time, I didn't see my gender as a handicap or an obstacle. I just did my job being a developer. And in fact, at that time, there were many women, you know, doing IT work. And we just did our work the best we can. And eventually, we found ourselves occupying roles that would not necessarily be roles that women in the past would have, you know, taken.
And I also noticed that in Pointwest itself, when you look at the leadership team, your president, vice president, even the CFO, CTO, and the CFO, correct, right? They're all women. So can you talk more about the culture of the company and how would you describe the people?
I would say Pointwest really is a big family, where we love each other, working together for so many years. And in fact, for most of us, for the leadership team, this is our 3rd life together. A lot of us came from the same company where we started our career. And I say it's family because we treat ourselves, we respect each other as members of the family, that we would help each other and collaborate well. And of course, there are a lot of, you know, conflicts also with ideas and arguments. And at the end of the day, it is a collaborative effort, a collective decision. And interestingly enough, in the senior leadership team, there's 1 man and 4 women. Oh,
wow. That's a great ratio.
Yes. And I would say kudos to that man, Mr. Rene Quezon, for keeping up with 4 women.
That's an amazing story. Now, we're in Silicon Valley, and as you know, this is the birthplace of all the entrepreneurial ideas. I just want to drill down a bit more on the amazing story from 9 to 13,000 employees in 13 years. So how did it all start? Like, do you remember the days when there were just 9 of you?
Oh, yeah. When we started, this was actually a takeoff from our previous life or former employment. When we decided to leave that company because of a change in direction. So see, we are in the application development and maintenance. That's our core competency. There was a change in direction to do call center, which is a good thing, but that's not our core. So we decided if that's going to be the focus of that company, I think it's better to leave. And at the time when we left, we did not think that we will form another company, but we did. And then how we started was really due to encouragement of some of our clients who said that, you know, if you continue to do the work, we will provide you with work. And that really encouraged us. So we had big clients already, big name companies at that time, and we would have projects in Minneapolis at the same time in the Pacific Northwest. So, and then we started getting people we know because they already have a track record with us. So if we bid on a project that is risk, you know, pay when you're happy, we definitely would need very reputable people. So that's how we started, and then, you know, one project after another. And I think the key is every time we have a client, we treat our client as a good friend that we want to help. And that client became a friend that would bring us to new opportunities, especially if they leave this company for another company. And then by word of mouth, we get to be introduced, and other companies would try us. We never had any big marketing organization over the years, but I think because of the good work that we had done, other companies, you know, tried us as well.
Speaking of your clients, a lot of people don't know the big name brands that Pointwest works with in the US. These are Fortune 500 companies. Can you tell us more about the roster of
I
clients?
just don't know if we can.
Okay, oh yeah.
But it's sufficient to say that, you know, one of the biggest airline companies in the US, and then another PBM company in the US, because, you know, we have NDAs that we cannot just divulge. But yes, you're right. We're in a very unique position that we're a small company, considering even if we're 1,300, a lot of our competitors are in the 30,000s. But we found ourselves blessed to be one of the providers of these big companies.
That's very interesting. And let's go back to the Philippines servicing these world-class companies. Why do you think the Philippine market is so ripe and so right for IT-BPM services?
You know, the Philippines in the past was only known to be the call center capital of the world. Of course, you know, needless to say, because of the language proficiency, as well as the affinity to the U.S. culture. But so far, the work beyond call center was a lot. Information technology support, application development and maintenance, and that's what we call the ADM. And now, value-added services as well as back office support. Why is the Philippine ripe for that? So we have a lot of graduates, professionals that would allow our companies in the Philippines to service the needs of the U.S. market. We graduate thousands of IT professionals. So that's for the IT side. And then for the back office side, for example, for the healthcare industry, we graduate a lot, a lot of pharmacists and nurses that they are licensed and can do the work on a back office mode.
And how is it working with Filipinos? Like, is there something inherent in the way a Filipino works that you can really say is world-class?
The work ethic.
Okay.
That's definitely something that separates us from the competition. We have the passion to do work passionately. We have the passion to drive service at its best. Customer orientation is key, right? And a lot of times it can also be a detriment when we want to do our best to the point that we don't tell them anymore if we can't do it. So that's the culture, and our clients love that. One of the things that we need to improve on, though, is telling them that, you know, it's something that we cannot do, and then we can do something else better. But I think more and more it's the resiliency of the Filipino worker, it's the dedication, it's the compassion.
And moving a little on a macro level, we know that technology is changing everywhere. We're in Silicon Valley where ideas are being born every day. What do you think is in the future of Pointwest, and how can you future-proof your services that you stay competitive in different industries? You're in banking, healthcare, transportation.
Right. So Pointwest actually has 4 verticals. We have the healthcare markets, healthcare, transportation and logistics, banking and retail, and utility media in the public sector. And for all this, we know that we need to pivot to the new way of doing things. Traditionally, we're providing ADM, application development and maintenance, conversion, quality assurance. But beyond that, and they are all, you know, FTE based. You have more people, you have more work, right? It's a different ballgame altogether. It's a different ecosystem now. We need to go to the new wave of everything digital, right? And we're doing that. So there's what we call Pointwest Digital, where we have the mode 2.
Okay.
Everything is agile, digital. We're talking about DevOps and agility and things like that. We are bimodal at the moment, And I think most of the companies nowadays are like that. We are keeping the lights on. The work that we do with our current clients now would still continue. And at the same time, we pivot to the new wave of doing things, our digital focus. So data analytics, cloud, smart analytics, and cloud, SMAC would be the focus. And entrepreneurship. So we have an innovation. We have our Pointwest Labs where we allow our people to innovate, develop products, platforms that we could market both in the Philippines, in the US, and other parts of the world, where you generate revenue without having to depend on X number of resources. So that's the new wave of doing things. And I think Pointwest, as well as many other companies in the Philippines, were positioned to be able to assist a lot of the US organizations along the path of the digital.
And it's interesting because I was just looking at the statistic, and the IT-BPM industry in the Philippines employs up to 1.2 million full-time employees. And that's amazing.
It is.
In terms of really growing and developing the economy. I have a quick question because maybe we have some viewers who are college students who are applying for jobs. If given a resume of someone who wants to work from Pointwest, what is the first thing you look for?
It's in the past, it's all about technical skills, right? But now it's really a combination of both the technical and EQ.
Okay.
Emotional quotient is important. The ability of the person to adapt quickly and be agile, because everything is all about agility, flexibility. So we look at the entire portfolio of the individual. It gone are the days when you just look at the scores, the transcript of records,
The school.
the
Kung saan
school.
siya galing.
Yeah. A lot of times though, pipili lang kami doon sa mga top universities, right? No, we realized and we recognize that there are many potential good quality potential employees from the other universities. So we continue to get them, and as they apply. We have this boot camp. We have this training program that we hire new grads, and then have a 3-month boot camp, and then they would move on to the different roles within the organization. Pero I'm so happy to see that a lot of our kababayans, the young graduates from the top universities as well as the second-tier universities, really have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Given enough training, they can rise, to the challenge.
What I always like to tell my friends is that when I came to the US, I realized that my education, my UP education, is competitive.
Yay, UP!
But did you feel that too, like migrating to the US? I mean, that's a whole different story, but how was it? I mean, you meet people who have degrees from here, Ivy League degrees. Do you feel that the training in the Philippines, the education system in the Philippines is sufficient?
Oh, definitely. I was never intimidated.
Oh.
Yeah, and I never felt that, I needed to do this and that more further education. Our educational system can compete. Yeah. We process, visas for our employees. And there is such a thing as education equivalency. Lahat ng graduates natin sa Pilipinas can very well compete with the top colleges here. UP, Ateneo, LaSalle, UST, Mapua, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, those would turn out really very good graduates.
And I'm sure it's a very gratifying part of your job to see some of the people you mentor from the provinces.
Exactly.
You can really change their life. I mean, this company changes a lot of people's lives, gives them a chance at success, a chance at ownership. So tell us some stories of...
Pointwest vision is really to uplift, the life of our, young graduates. We've helped a lot of young professionals, and it's really gratifying because, when I migrated 20 years ago, at that time, I did not realize that, I would be doing this thing that we're providing employment to a lot of people. And one of the good thing here is that it is not needing to migrate and be successful. You can be successful in our own country where we bring you the job. You don't need to come here and be successful. You know, you have the opportunity to be successful right where you are in your own country. And then we're generating business, we're generating employment. Some of the success stories, I would say, you know, we have young professionals who never imagined that they would have a project for a company here in the US, and sometimes we bring them here. And they are very thankful for that opportunity to be experiencing how it is to work here in the US. But at the same time, they have the opportunity to go back and experience the best of both worlds.
I mean, on top of all the professional success, at your heart, I know you're a mother. And I know your kids personally, they're such wonderful kids. So congratulations for raising them so well. How was it being a mother and an executive? Those are two different worlds. You know, people say it's hard enough to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's hard enough to be a career wife. But being both is, I can't even imagine. So how was it?
You know, I have a very supportive husband. I would say that's one of the key things that enable me to do what I'm doing now. When we migrated 20 years ago, I could not imagine living here in the US with 4 kids and not having any nanny. But, you know, yeah, my husband is very supportive on the personal side, on the home front. In the workplace, I have very, very good mentors. Mentors that I've worked with for a long time. Ben Coronel, Rene Quizon, Joey, and colleagues like Cora Agbayani. Without them, you know, I won't be able to do what I'm doing now. And I would say the success of Pointwest is not based on one person's, you know, achievement. It's a collective effort. We all work together as a family. We support each other. We inspire each other. And I think that's one of the key things that makes Pointwest successful. We treat ourselves as family. We respect each other, and we make each other look good. In the same manner, we treat our client with respect. We treat our client as our friend that we want to help be successful. We don't have ego. Like if there's a project, kung gusto ng kliyente ko na maging bida siya, gagawin namin siyang bida. Kasi pag naging successful siya, successful kami.
Yeah, and speaking of success, what would you tell people in the Philippines or people in the US starting out their careers and wanting to rise up the ranks and also be an executive in a global company like Pointwest?
A lot of patience, faith in what you do, and you know, looking up to mentors, and a lot of prayers. I would say through the life of Pointwest, we've all believed in the power of prayer. Whenever we have issues, problems, we do our best, and then we leave the rest to Him up there. We believe that with a lot of guidance from above, we are able to achieve, you know, successful projects. You know, at the end of an argument, a resolution is achieved because we believe in the power of prayer.
Thank you so much, Miss Lucy. It was wonderful to have you and to hear the story of Pointwest behind the scenes and your own personal life. That's an example to a lot of people. Would you want to invite everyone to check out Pointwest? Like
Yes.
If they want to learn more?
Pointwest Technologies Corporation, www.pointwest.com.ph. We do have continuing hiring process for new grads, and that's in the Philippines. In the US, whenever we need you know, resources, just go to our website and check out opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I wish we had more time, but that's it for today. This wraps the episode of Power ng Pinoy featuring Miss Lucy Flores. I hope you're as inspired as I was to be a woman in business, a woman in the global stage, and a woman all Filipinos can be proud of. See you next time, Power ng Pinoy, live from Silicon Valley.